Welcome to the We Are Not Born Failures podcast. I'm your host, Moises Linares. Gracias por acompañarme una vez más. Un episodio nuevo de este podcast donde, bueno, se habla de todo. Se habla de lo que está pasando por la cabecita de Moisés. Se habla de las cosas que yo veo a mi alrededor. Se hablan de temas de vida. Se hablan de cosas que a veces, bueno, no se mencionan en pláticas y deberíamos hablar de ellas. Yes, that's what the podcast is for. We just talk a little bit about everything. Life issues, things that are usually going through my head. Maybe I've experienced them. Maybe it's something that I'm feeling, not all the time. Sometimes these are simply conversations or topics that we should have, but no one's talking about them because we're more concerned about other issues that we won't get into today. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Thank you for following. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the messages. De verdad que sí. Gracias por los mensajes, los comentarios, por mandárselo a sus amigos, a sus amistades, a sus familiares. It really makes the difference because that's the fuel that we need. You know, if you're a podcaster, I'm sure you can relate. When you're thinking about whether this is worth it, is it good or not, when you get the message from someone saying, hey, thank you for that conversation you had. Thank you for that topic. I needed to hear that. That makes it worth it for me. So today, we're talking about a phrase you've heard. I'm sure you've heard it at one point in your life. Keep your feet on the ground. La frase de hoy, que seguramente la han escuchado en algún momento de su vida, es mantén los pies sobre la tierra. Someone's told you that before. Usually it's a parent, right? Your mom, your grandparents, and then close friends. Yo, la primera vez que escuché esa frase fue por parte de mi mamá. Mi mamá siempre me dijo, mantén los pies sobre la tierra. Antes de comenzar esta carrera, era el mensaje de ella, no importa lo que hagas, no importa lo que logres, mantén siempre tus pies sobre la tierra. Y era una lección de vida desde que era muy pequeño. No importaba lo que hiciera, era simplemente feet on the ground. Why? Because sometimes we get to new heights. Sometimes we accomplish big things in life. We hit that next level. But in that process, we forget where we came from. We forget who we are. We change. Our attitude changes, or at least some might argue your true character is revealed. And I don't think we really think about that. You shouldn't change. You shouldn't. It should make you better, not worse. But some people are just like that, unfortunately. And I know that's one way to put it. Ver las cosas de esa manera es una manera de ver las cosas. Hoy, el enfoque no es de lo malo que es la gente, no es de las cosas que pasan después que llegan al éxito y cambian. No. Hoy el enfoque es diferente. Hoy el enfoque es pies sobre la tierra y recordarte de dónde vienes, recordarte, de dónde saliste, recordarte que en algún momento tuviste que comenzar hacia atrás, ¿verdad? Hasta allá atrás, donde ya no se puede ver porque están lejos. Recordarte dónde comenzaste, las cosas que tuviste que sobrepasar, los retos, ¿verdad? Las batallas que ganaste para llegar donde estás hoy. Ese es el punto. Porque llega un momento donde te empiezas a cuestionar. Llega un momento donde tú dices, ¿será que merezco estar aquí? Síndrome de impostor. Imposter Syndrome. ¿Merezco estar acá donde estoy? No lo creo. No debería estar acá. Algo va a pasar. Algo va a suceder y esto se va a caer a pedazos. Porque yo no debería estar acá. En lo personal no se lo digo por decirlo. Lo digo porque lo he vivido. Lo digo porque también pasa por mi cabeza. Lo digo porque en ocasiones también cuestiono. Yo me pregunto, si he llegado hasta este punto, si he llegado hasta este momento en mi carrera, seguramente otras personas también pasan por lo mismo. Hay retos internos, hay dudas, hay preguntas que uno se hace solo, en la mente, donde nadie más escucha. Uno habla con sí mismo y empieza a preguntarse cosas como, ¿debería estar aquí? ¿Va a funcionar esto? Cuando sabes que sí. Sabes que has hecho el trabajo para llegar hasta ese punto, pero estás dudando y a veces tienes que cambiar de mentalidad y recordarte quién eres y las cosas que tuviste que sobrepasar para llegar donde estás hoy en día. Recordarte que no es casualidad que estés donde estás. Has trabajado para llegar hasta ese punto. Has luchado para llegar hasta ese punto. Has sacrificado una barbaridad para llegar donde estás hoy en día. Y se te olvida. Cuestionas. Tienes que recordarte de dónde vienes. ¿Dónde fue que comenzaste? And that's the message right there. Sometimes we question when we get to new places, when we get to new heights, when we get to new levels. Imposter syndrome, I was saying in Spanish. Am I worthy enough of being here? Should I be here? Probably not, you tell yourself. I shouldn't be here. This is not me. I'm not made for this, or I haven't done enough to get to this point. And you question, and there's doubt in your head. And you're wondering, will this fall apart? When you know the answer is no, because you've worked your ass off, excuse my French, to get to the point where you are at today. What you've accomplished didn't come easy. There were sacrifices, challenges, obstacles, and battles you had to win in order to get to this point. Sometimes you have to remind yourself where it was that you started. And all of that path, right? All of that road you had to cover to get to this point. We all go through it. Not saying it just to say it. I've gone through that point. I found myself saying those same things to myself on more than one occasion. 17 Emmys in, and I'm wondering, am I supposed to be here? Am I good enough when a new opportunity arises? But then I have to go back and feet on the ground and remember where it started, where I come from, my values, the type of person that I am. Some of you are hard workers. Some of you work harder than anybody in your circle. You go above and beyond, but you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe you're capable. You don't believe you're worthy. You think it should be somebody else, although you've done the work. You've made the sacrifices. You put in the time, but yet you still doubt whether you are worthy of being there. My friends, let me tell you, you are more than worthy. When you do the work, it shows. When you face challenges, you know how to tackle them on. It's not coincidence. And if you made it that far, you have to remember how things started. Remember where God took you from. If you believe in God or whatever it is that you believe in. I say God because that's my route. I do believe in God. But we forget. We were taken out from point A and moved to point B, C, etc. You lose faith. You stop believing that it's for you. I've learned one thing. What is for you, no one, no man or woman can take away from you. What you've worked for, whether it's this job or the next job, is yours because you've earned it. But it took time. It took effort. It took sacrifices. And I see it a lot with different people and different levels of life. But I'll give you an example. My family immigrated from El Salvador all the way to Los Angeles. And it was an enormous sacrifice. An enormous sacrifice to get from El Salvador all the way to Los Angeles. About, or just a little bit over 3,000 miles. It took a lot. Just the mentality to go through that process. To keep going city after city after city. Walking on train, on buses. Hungry. Asking for shelter. Asking for water. Getting to a border. Crossing that border with the intention of accomplishing the mission. accomplishing the American dream. And then they get to LA and they're wondering whether it was worth it or whether they are worthy to be there. Just kind of become content. And they hit the cruise control. And a lot of us do that. We get to a certain point in life and we just hit cruise control. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just right here. I've accomplished enough. I'm cruising from this point forward. And what you don't understand is that the climb never stops. You climb a mountain, and I've said this in the past, then you get to the next mountain, and the next mountain, and you know that you have what it takes. You do have what it takes. You proved it over and over and over in the past. But when you get to a new place, there's always that thought of whether you should or shouldn't be there. And that's when you're supposed to remember the things you've overcome and say to yourself, I've been through worse. I can do this. I've overcome a lot more. I can do this. I've sacrificed so much. I'm supposed to be here. There is a purpose of why you are where you're at today. It's not a mistake. It's not a coincidence. It's the truth. A mucha gente se le olvida eso. Mi familia dejó El Salvador. Agarró maletas, se fue a Los Ángeles, 3,000 millas de distancia, caminando en autobús, en tren, aguantando hambre, aguantándose, pidiendo refugio en el camino, dependiendo de las cosas nobles que hacía mucha gente para poder seguir adelante. Llegan a Los Ángeles a trabajar, pero de alguna manera es como que ahí terminó todo. Y presionamos el botón de cruise control. Somebody remind me what cruise control is in Spanish, because I think I forgot what cruise control would be in Spanish. Y todo bien. Y vamos bien. Sobreviviendo con lo suficiente para salir adelante. Pero la pregunta que yo me hago es, si superaste todo eso, si sacrificaste todo eso, entonces tú sabes dentro de ti que tienes lo que se necesita para salir adelante, que dentro de ti existe ese coraje, ese valor y la energía y las herramientas para mentalmente salir adelante. Pero a mucha gente se le olvida. A muchas personas se les olvida de dónde salieron. Se les olvida de todo lo que tuvieron que sobrepasar para llegar. Y ahí está el error. Porque cuando tú lo tienes pendiente, cuando lo tienes pendiente en la cabeza de que has superado muchas cosas, nada ni nadie te detiene. Y no hay preguntas sobre si eres lo suficiente para estar donde estar, ¿verdad? Para estar donde estás. No hay preguntas, no hay duda. Tienes que estar ahí porque has hecho el trabajo. Has sacrificado. Yo veo a muchos de mis amigos y me siento muy feliz por los amigos que han salido adelante, que comenzaron con cero, que en algún momento no tenían absolutamente nada y hoy la están rompiendo. Hoy son exitosos. Algunos millonarios. Otros comenzando compañías que hace 25, 30 años era inimaginable. Nadie pensaba que era posible, pero cuando pasas por tantas cosas, creas esa resiliencia interna. Te dices tú mismo, yo llegué aquí para triunfar. Mi familia hizo estos sacrificios para que yo pudiera triunfar. No dejaré que esto sea en vano. Voy a trabajar, voy a creer en sí mismo y cuando tenga dudas me voy a recordar de todo lo que mucha gente tuvo que hacer para darme esta oportunidad o las cosas que yo tuve que hacer para llegar hasta este punto y ahí encontrarás la fortaleza mental que necesitas. Pero comienza con no olvidar de dónde saliste, de dónde comenzaste. Esa es la clave para mí. Que a mucha gente se le olvida. Right? And I want to say that in English as well because I I'm very happy to see my friends who are now very successful. Some who are millionaires. Yeah, have a couple of those self-made millionaires. Some who have started companies and are doing very well. Some who, against all odds, have gone above and beyond to surpass whatever the expectations were for them. If there's one thing in common within all these individuals, we all come from a bad neighborhood. We come from the hood, South Central Los Angeles. That's at least from my perspective. That's the angle that I'm taking. But like South Central Los Angeles, there's a lot of neighborhoods that are really bad around the country. So it's not just one place in the U.S. There's many like us. There's a lot of people who can relate to the story. When I see them, I just can't help but feel joy because I'm happy at what they've done. It reminds me that it is possible. Not envious. There's no jealousy. Just support for one another and believe. And when they win, I cheer for them. And vice versa, because I've been very fortunate to do a lot of great stuff in my life. And my really close friends are always there to congratulate me, to say, man, that's amazing. Great work, the one you're doing. Different paths, obviously. But always holding each other accountable, being there for one another when you need it. And yeah, the circle you have is very important. Different conversation for another day, different topic. But just on the story of how people become successful, not forgetting where they come from. It's crucial. It's crucial when you're trying to grow, when you're trying to move forward. And those moments of self-doubt will always be there for many of us because we probably come from difficult backgrounds, difficult circumstances. So we question whether it is us who are worthy of being there, if it shouldn't be somebody else. But I'm here to tell you, you are where you're at because you've worked for it. And when you've worked for something really, really hard, it shows. No one has to tell me. No one has to lie to me. I can see it. Anyone can see it as well. We can see the hard work because it shows. It shows in the foundation. It shows in the results. It's not coincidence, my friends. No es coincidencia que estás donde estás. Cuando una persona ha trabajado, se ven los resultados. Se ve la fundación. Se ve la estructura. Uno sabe, esta persona ha trabajado. Esta persona es de las que no se rinde. Y a veces te tienes que recordar que has pasado por muchas cosas peores. Así que no importa lo que te tiren al frente, lo vas a superar. Vas a salir adelante. Yo me lo recuerdo todos los días. Y creo que como vengo de circunstancias similares a las que mencioné, hay momentos donde existe esa duda. Pero también sé que he creado algo, que la fundación está sólida, que todo está bien y que no importe lo que venga, ¿verdad? No importa eso. Voy a salir adelante, de alguna otra manera. Sin importar los retos, sin importar la tormenta, sé que mi fundación es como la de una palmera. Puede pasar el huracán categoría 5, no importa, porque aunque me sacuda, me estremezca, aunque parezca que estoy a punto de caerme, sé que me voy a poner de pie una vez más y voy a seguir luchando hasta el final porque ese es el tipo de persona que soy. Y como yo, hay muchas personas allá afuera. Hay muchas personas de ustedes que en ocasiones piensan que cuando viene la tormenta, que todo se acabó y que vamos a caer. Pero eres una palmera, amigo. Eres una palmera y aunque te sacuda de lado a lado, tú te vas a poner de pie una vez más. Porque es lo que hace una palmera. Si no lo sabían, búsquenlo. La fundación es fuerte. Tu fundación pueden ser tus principios, puede ser tu fe, No importa lo que suceda, cuando te den ese sacudón, tú te vas a poner de pie porque you're a palm tree. And that's the point, right? When you're going through difficult situations, when you're going through difficult moments, and when the storm comes, remember you're a palm tree. And what does that mean? What does it mean to be a palm tree? It means that your foundation is strong. You have a solid foundation. It doesn't matter if you're faced with a category 5 hurricane. And it might look like you're about to collapse, like you're about to be just janked off the floor or the ground, and you're about to tip over, and you're pretty much parallel to the ground. But when your foundation is strong, like a palm tree, you will get up. You will rise once again, because that's what palm trees do. They're resilient. It's one of my favorite trees, if not the favorite. When I see palm trees, it just reminds me of fortitude. It reminds me of strength. It reminds me of everything that I've had to go through in life. The good moments, the bad moments, the terrible moments. When it seems like everything's against me, like where I'm about to fail, where I'm about to simply go 100 steps back. And I remember I'm a palm tree, and I might be faced with a lot of obstacles. I might have a lot of challenges before me, but I know that I will rise once again. No matter how bad I shake, no matter how bad I get close to the ground. When that storm leaves, I'm back up. Why? Because my foundation is solid. And your foundation might be the way you were brought up. It might be your faith. And those are very important points to consider. It's not supposed to be easy, amigos. It's not supposed to be easy. This is difficult. It's a hard life. When you're trying to move up, it's difficult. When you're fine and content with what you have, cruise control. And that's fine as well. It's a personal decision. Whether you want to keep growing, hitting new heights, accomplishing new things, it's a decision. No one can force you to do anything. This is something we all do. This is something we decide for ourselves. Some of us, some of you, want to keep growing, want to keep doing new things. But you're faced with that doubt. You're faced with those questions of whether you are worthy. And you are. Believe you are. It starts here in the mind. Because if you're the first person who says, no, I am not, no, I shouldn't be here, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to find a way to fail. You're going to find a way to sabotage yourself. Very important, because I've learned this from a very young age. Actually, when I just started my career, people used to tell me, oh, good job. And I used to say, oh, well, it was okay. It was all right. Oh, you did a great report. Nah, it was okay. Good play-by-play. Oh, it was all right. I And someone asked me, why do you do that to yourself? Why do you contradict or pretty much deflect the good comments? And it was because I had that self-doubt. I didn't think that I was supposed to be there. I didn't think that I was worthy enough. I thought somebody else should be there in my place. But then once I kind of figured it out, I understood. I'm supposed to be here. I've worked my behind to be here. I'm going to keep working to do whatever it is I need to do to keep climbing that mountain and get to the top. And when I'm at the top, I won't be content. I'm going to climb a different mountain. How do I accomplish that? By remembering where I come from. Remembering everything that I had to overcome. Remember everything that people have sacrificed to give me this opportunity. That's the way that I've done it. Some of you might have a different path. And I would love to hear about it. In the comments, in the DMs. We all have a different path. But sometimes there's similarities to that road, to that plan. Maybe not the exact same experiences, but there's similarities. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've been through that. Don't forget where you come from. And when you question whether you're worthy or not, remember everything you've overcome to get to this point. Have faith in yourself. Even when you can't see the finish line, you have to believe that you were meant for that task, for that challenge, for that goal, for that accomplishment. When you do that, amigos, that's when things start looking a lot different. Keep the faith. Keep believing in yourself. Don't allow anyone or anything to make you think otherwise. It didn't happen overnight. You didn't get to this point. And if you're starting, at least you have a blueprint of what it might look like. You have an idea of the stuff that you're going to face or how to overcome these situations. With that being said, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for sticking around the entire episode. If you did, leave a comment. Leave your thoughts. I appreciate you. Another episode in the books. Love to sit on this chair. To be honest with you, I'm now just starting to get comfortable in the chair. And it's been 15 episodes. So that tells you how much practice you need. Yes, I've been on TV. Yes, I do play-by-play. But it's a different type of pressure when you're sitting here because I'm talking to myself for about 26, 30 minutes. And you want it to flow. I don't want to stop and pause. But now, like I said, that you're 15 episodes in, you're starting to feel comfortable. And I think to myself, I was not supposed to do this by myself. That was never the plan. It was supposed to be me out in the community, me talking to people, which is still part of this podcast, by the way. But I just haven't had the opportunity. Instead, I found this space. I found this platform that allows me to express what I'm thinking. And in that process, I've met a lot of great people, virtually, social media wise, who reach out and say, man, this is cool. Thank you. I needed that. And if I can keep doing that for people, it's worth it for me. With that being said, hope you have a great rest of your week. Let's stay in touch online and, well, see you guys later.